Well, hey everybody. Yep, it's another unboxing. And this particular box, quite honestly, it looks like it probably is large enough to have a small child or maybe a grandchild inside of it, which I hope Gayle did not do. Gayle Marshall from the great state of Georgia sent me this box. It actually arrived a little bit ago, and it's just been so busy here I haven't had a chance to set up to do unboxings. And so we're going to check this out. The only hint I'll give you is that it weighs in right around 37 pounds. So let's get into this and see what we find, okay? All right, that was kind of weird. I just opened up the top of this box and look at what I found. Whoops, it just fell. It was a spider. Ugh. All right, no more spiders, no more spiders. Please. All right, I'm going to open the front of this box a little bit. Looks like we have a lot of peanuts, but I should be able to get this container out fairly easily, hopefully. Well, that's a fun song. And that song is labeled big band, but it almost has kind of a, sounds like a county fair or something like that, doesn't it? And then you hear a little bit of organ in there as well, so that's just wild. Nice variety of instruments being played in that piece. And that was called Big Top, so I guess it's kind of a circus song, isn't it? And the next one is called Downtown Metropolis Chase. Here we go. Wow. So we go from a piece that sounds like it's for the circus, and now we go to one that sounds like it's James Bond, huh? This is fun. So the next one, let's see what it's called here. The Big Conference. The Big Conference. Let's put this one on. Looks like we're getting pretty close to the container here. Let's see. All right, I'm going to try to lift this out, and then I'll move this huge box out of the way. Well, you can see inside of the box now, and thankfully there's no small child or grandchild, so just a lot of extra peanuts and styrofoam and airbags and paper bags and some sort of weird cube. And it looks like somebody also went to McDonald's. So, all right, I'll move this out of the way. Again, you can kind of see this styrofoam. All it does is basically splinter, and if it takes an impact, it breaks pretty easily. So boy, we are getting some fun tunes, aren't we? Holy mackerel. If that one doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. So again, I know depending on what you have available for packing, if you pack a machine yourself to come to the workshop, you might end up using styrofoam. Like I said, if you want to use it as a core packing type material, I would take some stretch type tape and reinforce it with tape so that it's not brittle like this, where it's not going to afford the protection that I'm sure you want for your machine coming to the workshop. So just a tip, if you want to use this stuff, just reinforce it with some strapping tape. That way, if you try bending it, it's not going to break. If it takes a hit, it's not going to break, it's not going to splinter, and your machine will be better protected. All right, I'm going to try to pull it out of here pretty quick. Remember what that last one was called? The Big Conference, maybe? I think so. Well, if you were saying, why doesn't Scott ever play country? Here you go. Any guesses yet? If you have any guesses, post it in the chat. If you nail it, I'll send you something special. And I'm not looking at the chat, so if you type the answer in and I'm missing it, I'll see it eventually. You can kind of see through it now. We're getting real close, real close. Again, when you're cutting off the bubble wrap like this, make sure you angle those scissors out. I know I mentioned that a lot of times, but if you're new to the channel, make sure you do that. That way you don't accidentally damage the machine on the inside. Well, you can sure have a good view of it now. You can definitely have a good view of it now. Let's see, the last one was Frame of Mind, and this one is called Fare the Ridden. Fare the Ridden. Well, it's obviously a FOF 332, huh? The FOF 332. 332. In German, when you're doing a number like this, you have to switch the last two numbers. So instead of being 323, it's 332. Not that you needed to know that, but so this is a FOF 332. And I'm excited to see that Gayle has the original foot controller. I'll show you what I mean. Not to mention, she did a brilliant job of trying to protect it, putting some bubble wrap around it, and taking that extra step, not just throwing it in the box. And especially on foot controllers, be real careful with your scissors, because we have that cord in there. And I won't show you on the other side, but Gayle is very, very careful about protecting her stuff. She has her name and phone number written right on her foot controller. Not a bad idea in case you're at a big quilting retreat or you're traveling or something like that and the foot controller gets separated from the machine. You've got a way of showing that it's yours, so that's not a bad idea. That's a great idea, actually. All right, so let's take a closer look at this machine. And here it looks like we have a replacement power cord that Gayle has as well for the machine. Set all this to the side. So we have a FOF 332 532. Fantastic machine. Have had a lot of these in the workshop, a lot on the workbenches over the years. They are a die-hard workhorse, to say the least. So let me zoom in a little bit so we can take a closer look. As a matter of fact, you know what I could do? Is I could come off the tripod. That may be easier, actually. Let me do that. I'm going to set the camera down just for a second. Well, let's see what we got. This next one is called Innocence, and I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit so we can talk about the machine a little bit and have some music in the backdrop. So this machine, if you're not familiar with it, has this real cool collapsible bed. You just kind of pull it out like so, then let it go, and it kind of snaps into place. It's got a real strong spring in there that kind of pulls it back in and locks it into place. There is a support foot that can screw onto the end of here that I don't see it in the box. Gayle probably didn't have it, and it's not really absolutely critical, but FOF did have a support leg like a lot of the extension beds just to give that extra support. And it's good to see we've got our bobbin in there and everything. I have gotten machines in the workshop that have been shipped where the bobbin has been forgotten at home. So then we have to either use one of mine or ship another one. So, don't you love their branding mark? Boy, I wish the new FOFs carried that royal symbol of quality, don't you? So this is obviously for dropping feed dogs. Turn the light on for sewing. This controls a variety of different functions. Stitch length, it controls reverse. And then we get into a large matrix of controls that do everything from change cam functions to needle position and dropping the light. I mean, just all kinds of gadgets that FOF wanted to have on the machines. And then this top just comes off. A lot of tops you have to take screws out or bolts out. With this one, you just pop it off, and then you can have access to that very, very complicated matrix of the cam stack and cam adjustment features. And these are levelers that you can adjust to fine-tune cam output stitches. And then those coveted dual cleated timing belts, along with a cleated drive belt as well. So let's just say that the FOF brand is very serious about, very serious about quality. Turn this side. We'll look at the side of the machine as well. And really what we're kind of doing is just taking an opportunity to show you the machine, and also we're checking for shipping damage as well. This is something that can oftentimes get damaged because that's just plastic. That's plastic. All of these are pretty much plastic. So thankfully, because Gayle did a good job of protecting the machine, we don't have that problem. And this is probably where she's been taking the machine. So a little shout out to our friends at Baggett's Make-A-Way Sewing Center down in Warner Robins, Georgia on Davis Drive. So if y'all are watching, your machine is up in Wisconsin now. Up in, I don't know if you'd call it Yankee country, but up in Packer country for sure. Now we're kind of looking at the back of the machine. We've got these collapsible spool pin holders, which I think are really cool. And they can have problems too because they have springs inside of them on the inside of the cover, and they can break and they can get broken off as well. So, excuse me. This is where we plug our power source in. Another beautiful FOF symbol on the back of there. So this machine, all in all, is in real decent shape. I don't know how long Gayle has had it, but it really has been maintained well. A lot of these 332s from this era have just all kinds of old caramelized varnishing all over the finish, and this finish is, well, you can see it, this finish is downright pretty. Looks like she may even have put some wax or polish on it to kind of clean it up. So, and these two controls back here, one is for the presser foot, obviously, and this is going to be your needle threader. And it looks like the needle threaders is not functioning, because what should happen when I pull this up, it should come down like you see, and then it should be twisting forward. So that little let me zoom in on it. That little piece should be rotating to the front. This little piece right here. It should be down and then twisting forward. So I'll take a look at that. I don't know if that's going to be worth Gayle's investment to fix that, if she uses that needle threader or not. Needle threader, but I'll definitely take a look at it. If she wants it fixed, I'll fix it for her. And in here you can see some of those cam adjustments that we saw with the lid off. And this has a spring on it too that's designed to pull that lid back, and that spring feels like it's broken. It's just kind of free floating, which is fine as long as it closes, right? But I'm just letting you know that there is a spring design inside of here that when you get it to a certain point, it kind of pops it back. So Gayle, I think you've got I mean, on the surface, I haven't dug into the machine yet, but I think you've got a gorgeous, gorgeous machine. And again, I don't know the history of the machine. I don't know the provenance. I don't know how long you've had it, but it clearly has been on the outside maintained and kept clean, and looks really, really good. So, at any rate, this ends the unboxing. I'm seeing my crummy battery that I'm going to be replacing real soon is about dead. So, God bless. And I'm going to end this in a totally different quote and just say, remember, you're never old until regrets take the place of your dreams. And remember, the greatest prize in life is working hard at work worth doing. So hope you're doing that in your circle. I know I am here at the workshop. And stay tuned for other great unboxings like this. Oh, and thank you, Gayle, for sending this. Great job unpacking, kiddo. Bye.